Hello everyone and welcome again to my YouTube channel, and today we're going to study tenses again, and now with the simple past. Let's get into it. So the first question we ask if you want to learn about the simple past is, what is the rule of the simple past? So every tense, as we have previously learned, has a rule. So for the simple past, we have basically two rules. It depends on the verb whether it is a regular verb or an irregular verb. So for regular verbs, we have one basic and simple rule, which is the subject plus verb plus ed. So the verb, we add to ed to it if you want to make it in the simple past. Simple, huh? But for irregular verbs, it's something different. For irregular verbs, the rule is basically no rule. You just have to memorize the verb in the past form, and that's it. That's the cost of language learning. Right, let's see some examples of regular and irregular verbs. So here we can see the verb play. We all know the verb play. In the simple past, it becomes played. What did we do? We just added an ed to the verb, and yup, it became in the simple past, played. Easy. But for irregular verbs, we have the verb go. But in the simple past, it becomes went. Like just how, how the verb go became went. That's English, guys. Just bear with us. Right, so I don't want to blow your minds, but these are some examples of irregular verbs in the English language conjugated in the simple past. So eat, the verb eat became what? It became ate, like the number 8. What about see? It becomes saw. Weird, that's weird. We have, for example, hit. Okay, if you don't memorize the irregular verbs, I will hit you. It becomes hit. It didn't change. Like how? And here, for example, break, okay, to break the rules. This is how English language break the rules. And the irregular verbs are an example. So break becomes broke. That's English, guys. Just don't be shocked. Okay, so now let's see how to make a sentence with a verb in the simple past in the negative form. So here, as you can see in these examples, the first example we have, you didn't play football yesterday. So where is the verb here, guys? Can you tell me where's the verb in this sentence? So the verb here is play. Excellent. That's the verb. But you would tell me, well, teacher, isn't it the simple past? Why didn't we add ed to the verb play as we previously did? So it becomes in the simple past. It makes sense, right? Yeah, but here we have the negative form, and because in the negative form we use the verb to do as an auxiliary verb or a helping verb, unfortunately it takes the ed, or it takes the past form. So the ed of played, okay, that must be in the past form, it's now taken by did, or the verb to do, so it becomes did plus not, okay, and we have here didn't. That's the rule. Yeah, that the same thing applies here for the second example. Layla, the subject, didn't eat couscous last Friday. I'm so sad for her. So here we have eat. It's the verb, right? But it's not in the past. Why? Because the past form is taken by did. It doesn't mean that the sentence is not in the past. No. So the sentence is, of course, in the past form, but it's in the negative form. So, and because it's in the negative form, the past form now is taken by the auxiliary did. And finally, that's the rule, guys. What's the rule? So the rule is we start with a subject, then we have did, okay? And we have not, which represents the negative form, of course. And finally, our beloved verb. So the verb, it's still as it is. Okay. What about the question form? So the question form, what do? We just start with did, okay? Our beloved auxiliary verb, then the subject, then the verb. It becomes, untouched, okay? We don't touch it at all. Isn't it that simple? It's very simple, guys. So here, as you can see in these examples, did you play football yesterday? So if we want to ask a question with the simple past, I just start with did, then the subject, then the verb. Did Layla eat couscous last Friday? No, she didn't. She ate a taco instead. Okay, now let's move to something else. Okay, we've seen now the rule of the simple past. How can we make a sentence with the simple past in the negative form, and how can we make or build questions with the simple past? But we didn't see the usage, like why do we even use the simple past? Of course, we use the simple past to talk about completed actions or events that happened and finished at a specific time in the past. Clear? When we want to talk about something that happened in the past, we use the simple past. It's as simple as that. Something that happened in the past and has finished in the past. If you want to, for example, talk about routines, habits in the past, okay, or some series of past events, like a story. I want to tell you about, for example, what I did yesterday. For example, yesterday I went to high school, I taught my students, then I went back home, I just drank some water, I ate my lunch, and I slept. Okay, so now I told you about the story of my life using the simple past. Okay, because all of that happened in the past and has finished in the past. It's as simple as that. Right, this is the fun part. So most of you guys, especially my students, they sometimes tend to know how to use the rule of the simple past. They use it correctly. They memorize their irregular verbs and everything is okay. But they block when it comes to using expressions of past. Okay? If, for example, they want to talk about something that happened yesterday, they just cannot find the right words to express the exact time when this action happened in the past. And this is why I brought you some expressions that we can use to talk about past events. So number one, we have specific points in the past. For example, the most famous one is we have yesterday, okay, we have last night, and last week, last month, last year. This word last, we use it with a lot of things. 2 days ago, a week ago, a long time ago. For example, if I want to be more specific, I use a year, for example, in 2010, or on Monday, on my birthday. Okay? We have also ago. We used to use this kind of expression a lot. For example, 5 minutes ago. If you want to be more specific about how much time in the past, or what is the duration between now and the past event, if I want to convey that to you in a specific way, exactly. So these are the expressions. 5 minutes ago, a few years ago, for example, a moment ago, like just a moment ago, I ate, for example, a piece of chocolate, or I drank a sip of water. And we have a long time ago, okay? I didn't, for example, I didn't have a cold bath a long time ago. And we have finally other common expressions. For example, when I was a child, if I want to tell you about my life story, when I was a child is a best way to start your start your story. The day before yesterday. So we have yesterday and then we have the day before yesterday. Yeah. The other day, okay, the other day, or once, okay, once, which means just a random time, like time period X in the past. Once, for example, once I drank an energy drink and I just became crazy. All right, so these are examples of sentences in the past. You can review them at home, okay? I'm just gonna skip that to talk about something much more important. Now we have to practice, and as we know, practice makes perfect. So grammar exercises or grammar lessons are easily understood when they are practiced. So let's practice the simple past together. Here you have to complete the sentences with the correct form of the verbs in brackets. And the first sentence is yesterday I gap a beautiful song, and the verb is here. So what is the past form of the verb here in the past? The past form of the verb here in the past. What's the past form of the verb here? Okay. It's a heard. Okay, it's heard. So is it a regular or irregular verb? It's of course an irregular verb because the verb changed completely. We didn't add ed. So heard, H-E-A-R-D. Sorry for this. I'm just using PPTX PowerPoint presentation to make my video. So I will make sure to improve the software I'm using next time so that the writing becomes clearer. Right, or let me use notes. Yeah, I will use notes. Okay, she to Paris last summer, and the verb is go. So what's the answer? We did that in the first slide, so it's a went. She went to Paris. Okay, it's a went. Right. I the movie last night, and here you have the negative form, not see. What should we do here, guys? So I, of course, when we have the negative form, didn't. Excellent. So I didn't. Okay. Okay, I didn't see or saw. I didn't see. Okay, the verb stay as it is. We don't change the verb when we have the negative form and when we have the question form. Just remember this. Okay, we not know. So the same here applies to the verb. We didn't. Okay, so it's the same thing. We didn't know. Perfect. Now questions. And here we have the verb here. Gap you, gap the new song. What should we do here, guys? We start with the did. Excellent. Did you, which is the subject. And then here, what should we do? Are we going to write the verb as it is, or we say heard? Did you heard or did you hear? It's did you hear? Excellent. And the same thing applies to go. So we say, did she go to school yesterday? Okay. Right, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video on tenses playlist. And inshallah, in the next video, we are going to talk about the past continuous. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon.